Fox, you officially have screwed the pooch one too many times and need to give the rights to Fantastic Four back to Disney Marvel. Because when I can hold up a crappy sequel and a direct-to-DVD film that were much better than the film that I just watched, you have failed. Oh, hi. Welcome back to another midnight showing. As always, I'm Kelly, and I just got out of Fan Four Stick, or Four-tastic, or Fantastic Four, whatever the hell you want to call it. Sorry, I'm just programming this to find me a good Fantastic Four movie. Alright, I think I've got it right there. Hopefully this will come back sometime this century. And for those who don't want any spoilers, before we actually start talking about this, final verdict is don't see this movie. By God, was it horrible. And not in that campy, cheesy way that you can enjoy most horrible movies, especially superhero movies. No, this is the taking itself way too seriously. Everything is vital importance. If we don't do this, the whole world is gonna explode. With bland characters who you don't give two craps about, and it is just a bore. You've seen this all the cliches that's done this 1,000 times before, done by much better studios and better films. So yes, my final verdict is an honest to God, fuck it. I can't believe I'm having to give that to this movie. I kind of figured that I was going to have to give it a skip it, because let's be honest here, people. Fantastic Four was going to suck. It was dead on arrival. But they could have at least tried. This movie did not. And I really can't believe I have to give this a fuck it. Because, honestly, I racked my brain the entire drive back from the theater to my house, which was a good half hour, mind you, and I could not think of a single thing that this movie did good, or well, or even par for the course. It's mind-boggling. There was only one aspect of the film that I can actually say that I liked, but it was nowhere near good. So before we actually start talking about spoilers, again, this gets an honest to God fuck it. Anybody else who wants to stay, oh joy. So this new Four-tastic crap feast is directed by the same guy who directed Chronicle, which was one of the better found footage movies, I will admit that. But it's quite clear that this movie was trying to be Chronicle 2. The plot of this movie is exactly what you think it's going to be. Reed Richards is smart, discovers some new scientific thingy-mabobber. Everybody gets together for this said scientific mabobber, including Victor Von Doom, and they go through the scientific thingy-mabobber, and they all come out with powers. Except for Victor Von Doom, who is presumed dead. It's the first Fantastic Four movie. Seriously, guys. You're not even being subtle with that. Oh, no it's not. We didn't use cosmic rays or a superstorm in space. Just gonna do this for a minute? No, instead, you guys went to the negative zone, but didn't even have the balls to call it the negative zone by calling it Earth Zero. Seriously? Yeah, that's basically the plot. Reed Richards discovers how to transport matter to this new dimension and transport it back. With the help of Victor Von Doom, Susan Storm, and Johnny Storm, they're able to build a machine. In fact, Ben Grimm is even a factor into this. He's only a part of this because Reed didn't want to leave his buddy inside of a garage run by his family. That's it. Why was he in this movie again? Oh yeah, that's right. So that we could have somebody play the Thing, because we have to have the Thing. Or else it wouldn't be Fantastic Four. It'd be Tubular 3 or the Dynamic Duo, whatever the hell they called them inside of the other movie I showed you before. And yeah, that's basically the plot. Beat for beat, bad government, bad guys, Doom, evil, who comes into play in the last 20 minutes. He has no bearing on the plot after he dies after 25 minutes in. Yeah, that's how much of the movie he's in. He's in the opening segment, and he's in the last 20 minutes. And it was pretty freaking stupid. Every single character inside of this movie... Actually, no. I'm not going to call them characters. Every single windbag inside of this movie that had to read their line reads it as if they're talking about the most important thing in human history. Complete exposition from start to finish. There is nothing that says that these characters are who they pretend to be at all. And the one who is raped the worst character-wise is Dr. Victor Von Doom, who goes from one of the most egotistical, badass, supreme overlords of the entire Marvel villain universe, hell, even the comic book villain universe, to this whiny, conspiracy theorist, stupid, politically bullshitted piece of crap hacker. Who thought that was a good idea? I will give his actor credit because he, in a lot of interviews and things, said that he went back and watched every single portrayed version of Doctor Doom. The cartoons, the films, the directive VHS thing that's still illegal to watch even though everybody has a copy of it. All of that. He went back and watched all of those to perfect how he said the Doctor Doom lines when he became Doctor Doom. And to his credit, in that last 20 minutes when he is supposed to be talking like that, it actually does come off pretty convincing, voice-wise. Not what he's actually saying, just what he's doing with his voice. He comes in kind of gravelly, but still superior and better than you. The problem is what he's being told to say by the freaking script doesn't give him any kind of supremacy or any kind of really dignity. It's pretty sad. I'm sorry. Dr. Doom is raped inside of this. This is X-Men Origins Wolverine with Deadpool bad. I mean, completely just not the character. He doesn't do anything Doctor Doom related. His powers inside of this film are telekinesis. That's it? This is Doctor Doom we're talking about. I mean, shouldn't this guy be able to make robots? Shouldn't he be well-versed in magic? Shouldn't he, I don't know, be the king of his own country of Latveria and not some stupid twat who was born in Latveria? And you didn't even have the balls to say that? It was put on a computer screen? Come on, guys. I'm going to find you, and I am going to put a bullet in each of your kneecaps for what you did to him, because that is sad. Brett Ratner knows how to represent Doctor Doom better than you. And that's saying something because even inside of these films, Doctor Doom wasn't really all that big of a threat, really. I mean, sure, the actor gets a lot of crap for how he portrays Doctor Doom, but to his credit, he actually did try to put in some of the cheese that does fit in it. He's smart, he does invent things, he does basically run Latveria through businesses rather than actual kingdom, but yeah, he does even shoot the lightning laser bolts he's supposed to. What did this film give us? Fan Force Stick gave us Doctor Doom who could lift rocks and throw them at people. That is it. He does nothing else in this film. And although I think it's kind of scary that he does just walk through a hallway, none of the bullets are hitting him, but as soon as he gets within about 10 feet or so, someone's head explodes. Yeah, that's kind of scary and threatening. But then again, didn't Watchmen do this better in the comics at the very least? Yeah. That's basically what the big squid thing in the comics of Watchmen did. How hard is it to portray characters correctly? Now, I say that Doctor Doom got raped in this, but that's not to say that anybody else in this movie is who they say they are. And it's true. Frankly speaking, I don't care that they turned Johnny Storm black, or even that they made his father black, or that they even adopted Sue Storm. I don't care about that. My problem is that Sue Storm doesn't act like Sue Storm. She acts like somebody who's supposed to be super smart and sees patterns. How is that Sue Storm? Johnny Storm is supposed to be a hothead, and they kind of actually gave him something else to work with by opening his introduction with him drag racing, and actually trash-talking some of his other people while racing them. That is Johnny Storm. But the second that he gets out of that opening introduction scene, everything is exposition. He gets in fights with his dad, who's controlling his future, even though he's supposedly as smart as Sue Storm, and he can do all this stuff. He can build anything. For fuck's sake, if I wanted to watch this, I'd go put on Justice League War and go watch the same dynamic with Cyborg and his father, Dr. Stone. Seriously, guys, did you think we would notice that you're copying that cliche? Miles Teller as Reed Richards should have been a match made in heaven, but the problem is that the script was so bad that even Miles Teller had nothing to work with. He doesn't act like Reed Richards. He doesn't even act all that smart in the film. And as I said, I would get back to Ben Grimm, who has no point of being in this movie other than they needed someone to play the Thing. And what is he in this movie? He's some down and out guy who lives with a crap shit family who owns a junkyard. Oh, he was in Reed Richards' class once, and he helps Reed build his inventions. And then the movie literally opens up where Reed gets sent to the Baxter Institute, which is now a school rather than their home building, which Reed is supposed to own. Come on, guys. And Ben Grimm disappears from the movie until they decide to go to the negative zone. And yes, I'm not going to call it Earth Zero. It's the negative zone. You don't need to try to tell me otherwise. And why does Reed call him to go on this trip? Because they all got drunk and he didn't want to leave his friend behind. This is so fucking transparent that this movie was just made to keep the rights from going back to Disney Marvel, who would have rebooted this and made it a hell of a lot better. And that's not to say that the movie looks nice or anything. The CGI is pretty craptastic, especially with Reed Richards and his stretching. Oh my god, was that horrible. And I mean, really bad. Now, I know that everybody has talked about Reed Richards' stretchy face thing, because, yeah, it's the most noticeable of how bad the CGI is. What happens in the scene is Reed Richards is running from the government, and to keep away from them, he basically morphs his face into Shane from The Walking Dead. It looks exactly like him. And then when he's in the car driving away, he like stretches his face back and it turns back into Miles Teller's face. And it looks horrid. I mean, I could have done that entire segment with Play-Doh claymation and that would have looked about 100% better. But no, the one that really got me was actually just before they go back to the negative zone to stop Doctor Doom in the end of the film. And Reed Richards is just stretching to pull himself up to a section of the thing. And it looks horrid. I mean, it's like bad green screen. The CGI arms are twisting in directions they shouldn't twist to grab shit. And when he rubber bands himself in, it just... Ugh, it looks nasty. And that's not to say that the CGI is the only bad thing. The sets that they're actually working on are bland as hell. They're clearly just sound studios with a couple of walls put up. And why does everything need to be gray? Everything is tinted. Whole thing gray and black and covered in shadow. Come on, I know that we want to be different than Disney Marvel, but can you at least add some form of color? Any at all. Why do all of their super suits, their containment units, need to be black and gray? I can understand that with Reed Richards, being that he had to cobble his own together while he's running from the government. But these government agents have all this tech, and you're telling me you couldn't make Johnny Storm's red? He's a giant human freaking torch. You couldn't tell me you could make that red? And why is Sue Storm's just a black wetsuit jumpsuit? I mean, seriously. Why? Just freaking why? I cannot talk about this movie anymore. You want a good, a bad superhero movie that is so good or so bad that you can watch it? Go watch Batman and Robin. Go watch Batman Forever. Go watch Steel. Okay. It's not as bad as this movie is not as bad as Steel, but nevertheless, this movie sucks. And it gets an honest to God fuck it from me. It is the worst of everything that you can possibly think of as far as superhero movies go. And I do mean that. The story is bland. The origin sucks. The people are not even characters. They're line-reading windbags. They raped one of the best villains in comic book history. The movie looks like crap. The CGI is nasty and unconvincing and disgusting. The sets are bland as hell. You can clearly tell that they're just sound studios. There is nothing I can say that was good about this film. There is one thing that I can say that I liked, and not because it was good, but because it was so bad it was hilarious. And that was the man who played Johnny and Sue's father inside of this. He is playing their father as this typical black stereotype father figure with the lowest, most gravelly voice you could possibly hear. Even when it's so inappropriate to be talking like that. His kids are presumed dead or morphed into these abominable things. He's doing that stupid cliche where he's being debriefed by the military guy who's not listening to him, repeating the same questions over and over and over again, because that's so efficient, isn't it? And he's just sitting there, and I swear to God, he is talking like this the entire time. I've told you this 3 times now. Now I want you to tell me, where are my children? I was laughing in the theater. I really was. I was trying not to let it be too loud over the stupid couple behind me who brought their baby. But with the exception of that, this movie was bad. It was horrible. It tried nothing new and gets an honest to God fuck it. And that's it for me. Did you enjoy the video? Did you see Fantastic Four? Tell me what you thought about it in the comments below. Maybe we'll get some healthy discussion. Ow! There's a good Fantastic Four movie.